There's a little bit more to that verse than that, at least in the other Bible that I was reading. So that's why I was expecting her to talk some more. Thank you, Harmony, for checking. You got the short version, yep. Go with this one. All right. It was giving us all kinds of trouble getting together, and I made up my mind that as soon as it fell off, I would put it down. And it did. So we did it. Okay. All right. What is this mystery? You know, if you look online, you can find that Amazon is selling mystery boxes. Mystery boxes. They sell little ones, they're $39. Medium-sized ones and super-sized ones. In those mystery boxes, nobody knows what's in there. That's the mystery. First you pay for it. $40 for the small one. We don't know what's in that box. And the big box has got bigger things. And you might get a box that has some nice things, and you might get a box that has nothing. That's the mystery. That's the mystery. That's the problem with the mystery. Is that you don't know where it is. You don't know the end of the story till you get there. If you listen to a mystery on the radio, or watch one on TV, or somewhere else, you don't know how the story ends until the story ends. Well, I'm going to talk about the mystery today, that we know how the story ends. And that's what that verse is about. Great is the mystery of godliness. And then Paul goes on and adds a few more things, and we'll get to that a little later. Right now, we're going to talk about mysteries. You know, I don't know how this works. There's got to be a button to go work here. Okay, I need some help here. Oh, there we go. I still didn't get to go. Yeah, this is the mystery screen. That's not the way I planned it. Which is my button? Oh, it's the down one. Okay, mystery. What is a mystery? That's what we need to find out this morning. What is a mystery? The Bible uses that word. Did you know that Paul uses that word all through his writings? He talks about mysteries. There's some mysteries in the book of Revelation, and there's mystery in the Gospels once, but the rest of the 22 times are all from Paul. And I wonder what he meant by mystery. You could have it mean this. There we go. A novel or a play or a movie dealing with a puzzling crime, but you don't know the story till it finishes. So I don't think that's the one that Paul's using, that word. And then there's this one here, the secret rites of Greek and Roman pagan religion, or of any ancient or tribal religion to which only initiates are admitted. Back in those days, you could be part of a certain secret group, and they would tell you all the mysteries, but you couldn't tell anybody else. Only for the ones who were members. But I don't think that's the one Paul is talking about either. He's not talking about mysteries to be hidden away and forgotten. Then this one here. A mystery is something that is difficult or impossible to understand or explain. And I think that's what Paul had in mind when he talked about the mystery. But I'll get there a little later. the Bible uses the word mystery. In fact, if you read the right version of Daniel 2, you'll discover that's a mystery, a story there. The King James says secret, but others say that Daniel was shown the mystery, and he shared the mystery about the big image, and that word is used there, but that's only in the Old Testament. That's the only one there. In the Bible uses it to be something that was hidden and not known, and then it was revealed. The mystery was revealed. Another place we use it in the Bible, that's found in Romans 16:25 and 26. Paul said this. He said, to him that is of power to establish you according to my gospel and the preaching of Jesus Christ according to the revelation of the mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest. That's how Paul used that word mystery, to talk about something that people didn't know, that was revealed in his time and to us in our time. We'll continue. Other Bible uses are, well, sometimes there's some things in the Bible that you can't logically understand. How many of you understand the Trinity? How can God be one and be three? It's not easy, is it, for us to say? It's easy for God to do it, but it's hard for us to understand it. We don't understand that. So sometimes there are mysteries in the Bible that are of that kind. Mysteries about God because we don't understand God. Then something about God that humans cannot completely comprehend. That, I think, is the one that Paul uses mystery mostly for. I'm supposed to have an example on there. Where'd it go? The love of God. You can experience love of God. You can enjoy the love of God. But can you truly, truly comprehend it? I think there was a gentleman who sang a song like this. We may sound the depths of all the mighty oceans. We may tell the distance to the farthest star. But the mighty love of God cannot be measured. Its dimensions are so high, so deep, so far. This love is mine. I cannot comprehend it. It's a mystery. Paul mentioned the mysteries so many times, especially in the book of Ephesians. I think there are about 5 times that he mentions the mysteries. Would you like to turn with me to the book of Ephesians and chapter 3? Paul was the apostle to the Gentiles. And he thought that that was a mystery. And that's what he's going to say to us here. As soon as I find it, I hope you found yours quicker than I did. Ephesians chapter 3. For this reason, I, Paul, the prisoner of Christ Jesus, for the sake of you Gentiles, if indeed you have heard of the stewardship of God's grace, which was given to me for you, that by revelation there was made known to me the mystery. What is the mystery? Next verse. By referring to this, when you read, you can understand my insight into the mystery of Christ. Do we really comprehend the mystery of Christ? The baby was born without a father. Well, that's what it looked like. That was a mystery. How can this be? Said Mary. How can this be? It's God's working, what the angel said. And that's a mystery. The incarnation is a mystery. How is it possible that a God so big can become a baby so small? Well, we can't comprehend it. That's the mystery of the Christ. And he continues to read about this more than that, than just the incarnation. Paul continues here, and he says, to me, verse 8, to me, the very least of all saints, this grace was given to preach to the Gentiles the unfathomable riches of Christ and bring to light what is the administration of the mystery which for ages has been hidden in God who created all things. There's the mystery again. It's being brought to the light. And Paul has the wonderful task of sharing the mystery. And he's, well, I won't say he's boasting in here, but he's holding up the fact, and he's enjoying the fact, he's savoring the fact that God has given him this precious, noble work to do, to share the mystery that the whole world did not understand, and which the Jews completely did not understand. It's that there was the fellowship of mystery. The fellowship of the mystery. That's what verse 9 says in the King James Version. That's why I didn't recognize it in my New American Standard. Bring to light what is the fellowship of the mystery. Because he says the fellowship of the mystery is that this special mystery, this special message is not just for one small group of people in the world, the Jews, but for all the people in the world, including the Gentiles. Well, that's everybody else but the Jews, right? Even for the Arabs, even for the pagans. All are invited to know that mystery and to be part of that mystery, which is God's wonderful plan of salvation. And in chapter 6 of Ephesians, again, he uses the word mystery. 6 verse 19. He asks people to pray for him. Pray on my behalf, says Paul, that utterance may be given to me in the opening of my mouth to make known with boldness the mystery of the gospel. Paul needed some help. That was his job. That was his task. That was his duty, is to share the mystery, the gospel. How could a God, the Creator God, how could the Creator God, how had the Creator God planned to create a plan of salvation? The gospel begins with the giving of the child. For God so loved the world that he gave the first Christmas present. He did. His only begotten son, So whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You know, in that verse, you get a whole picture of the gospel from Jesus. It's a gospel that saves us from perishing, but it's a gift. Doesn't say anything in there about, and you studied the Sabbath school lesson this week, you just studied about purgatory, about doing some way, paying the bill off after the fact for somebody else. I was thinking about that. You know, what I'm going to tell, if somebody comes to me when I have and say, would you pay a little something here to help your loved one get through purgatory? I'm going to say, no, my brother's taking care of that. Did you catch that just now? There's a mystery in that one right there, right? My brother. Who is my brother? He's one who became like me, and he did what I could never do. And he'll take care of that for all my friends that are wandering through purgatory. No, none of them are there. He's already taken care of that for them. That's part of the mystery that Paul told about. Well, let's move along to Colossians chapter 1, verse 27. This is another mystery of the gospel. Colossians 1, verse 27. To whom God willed to make known that in this, what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Oh, now that is a mystery. It's hard to comprehend that the second person of the Godhead made himself one like me. But he has also condescended to not only be one like me, but to be one in me. That's what salvation is all about. The life I now live, not I myself. Christ lives in me. That's the hope of glory. That's the mystery that Paul shared with the Gentiles. And then he's put it all together in the verse we read this morning. And I will read it with all the rest of the pieces of it. By common confession, great is the mystery of godliness. He who was revealed in the flesh was vindicated in the spirit, seen by angels, proclaimed among the nations, believed on in the world, taken up in glory. Jesus. Jesus is the mystery of godliness. Fact is, that's the mystery of godliness in us too. We just read that, the hope of glory. When we allow Christ to live within us, then we become like him, and that is godliness. But there are days when I'm not so sure that I'm reflecting that image, that mystery. But that's the promise. The mysteries of Paul, they are mysteries of promise. The promises are made, sometimes hidden, but they have been revealed by the glory of the... Thank you, Lyndon, for your story today. This world was dark. I had to tell this Christmas story once in Page, Arizona. to a group of Navajo Indians who didn't know much about the story. And as I told the story, I said the world was dark. You couldn't see anything. And we followed the same way you talked about today, Lyndon. But then I said, God set a light. Have you read it there in John chapter 1? He was the light that came into this world. And it lights all men in the world. John chapter 1. That wasn't in my verses to read today, but now that I've heard the story. John chapter 1, verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. A mystery. And sometimes we don't really comprehend the light that came into our darkness, but it still lightens up the darkness. That little light, the little hole up there, the little light on your watch. Yes, he is the light of the world. And well, it's a wonderful time of year we're living. Christmas, time to remember those things. And by the way, do you like the decorations up here? I was supposed to say something when I started about the people who spent several hours the other day. Asia and her troop, her people that were here, and the Kalamikas family, and Judy were all in here moving things around and so hooking up lights and turning on. And where's Linda? Thank you for the lights, Linda. I heard she was supposed to come turn the lights on. Yeah, so that was good. So there's the light, see? It all happened good. So I just wanted to say thank you to them for doing this. It's so wonderful. I like being here on the first Christmas, first Sabbath of the month of December when all the Christmas decorations are up. Is that why I chose to preach today? No, I'm just glad I'm here today because I can see this. I enjoy this. This is my favorite time of year. I even get to wear my Christmas tie. But back to the Bible verse, the mystery of godliness. It's all those things. Jesus came. He was incarnated. He lived in this world. He died on the cross, all to bring light to this world. And that's a mystery. It is almost impossible to comprehend it. That's why it's a mystery. But Paul loved that mystery, and you notice he just liked using that word about the mystery of God, the mystery of godliness. God born in the flesh, God walking on this earth, God taken up into glory. And oh, he missed a few things here. Coming again in glory. Christmas was the day that God came down to this earth. And there's another day coming when Jesus will break through the blue. And those that are waiting for him will see him and say, "This is our Lord. We have waiting for him, and he will save us. And those who have fallen asleep in Jesus will be caught up together with them in the crowds, and they'll always be with the Lord. That's a mystery. We've never seen that happen before. We can only long for it and wait for it. It's a mystery. Why would God do that for us? When he's got how many worlds out there that are serving him and never brought sin into their world? Paul said he's the least of sinners, the greatest of sinners and the least of saints. But no matter whether you are the greatest of sinners or the least of saints, the mystery is yours. The mystery of godliness can be yours because Jesus came to save you and me. It's a mystery that Paul has revealed to the world. It's Paul's mystery. And the other mystery that he was always talking about, I should mention this, is this is for everybody. They are being brought in to be part of the family. And over here, how many of you are Gentiles? And maybe one or two of you might have a little bit of a Jewish background too. Makes no difference. Paul says God's mystery is that this includes everybody. Whosoever. That's a little song. We used to sing it when I was a kid. I haven't heard it lately. Whosoever surely meaneth me, whosoever. I forgot the words now. But that's what whosoever means. It means you. Jesus was born because of you. Jesus died on the cross for you. And Jesus said, I will come again and receive you unto myself. Please let Jesus fill your life with his mystery, his power, and his love today. Thank you for probing with me the mysteries of Paul today. I think that's the end of my slides. Oh yes, I've thought about this one here. There's a long quotation. I don't like using them, but I had to read. I'll just go down to the very last part of it. The study of the incarnation of Christ, his atoning sacrifice, and mediatorial work will employ the mind of diligent students as long as time shall last. And looking to heaven while it's unnumbered years, he will exclaim, great is the mystery of godliness. We can study these mysteries through all eternity, and there'll still be mysteries for us. We'll still have to go to Jesus and say, could you please explain this to me? How did you do that? What a wonderful task that'll be, that we can study for eternity and learn more and more about the unfathomable love of God, about the mystery of salvation, and the wonderful sense of being part of the family of God. Blessings on you today. May I be the first to say to you, Merry Christmas. Probably wasn't, was I? Well, I'll do it anyway. It's the first of the month. Christmas is coming, and I'm going to be gone that day, so I better tell you today. The mystery of salvation is a wonderful thing to study, and we can find more and more of it. We can say with Paul, great is the mystery of godliness.